Very cool news, guys. Fragments from a Quran believed to be the oldest known to date have been discovered in the library of the University of Birmingham. Or should I say they were rediscovered. Now, these fragments of the Holy Book had been sitting in the library for years until closer inspection. With a little help from radiocarbon analysis, the scriptures written on animal skin were dated back to the time of the Prophet Muhammad when he was actually alive, which is perhaps, Jose, the most exciting part of all of this. Look, the radiocarbon analysis dates these fragments from anywhere from 568 AD to 645 AD. Now, Muhammad, we believe, lived from 570 AD to 632 AD. So, one important thing to take away from this is that possibly somebody who wrote this Quran physically with the ink, with the pen in their hand, was either being spoken to by Muhammad himself or somebody who could have known him. So that's awesome. And I just want to say, though, that this radiocarbon analysis is 95.4% accurate. So we're pretty sure about the dates.
I mean, this is amazing. But really what blows my mind is the idea that how much more historical material is there just sitting around in this huge collection from museums and private collections that they might not even catalog everything that they have. They don't do the analysis like they just did, and that we are missing so much information. Is there any new, are we learning anything new from the Muslim faith on this version of the Quran?
Well, from a historical standpoint, it's always exciting to find old things, but I do have to say one thing that a lot of people noticed was the fact that they were able to see which verse this was exactly, which chapters it's from. It contains parts of chapters 18 to 20 written in ink in the early form of Arabic script known as Hijazi. Now, this chapter, these 2 pages that they found, they actually realized that it doesn't deviate much from the pages that correspond with today's Quran. So I guess to answer your question, in some way, yeah. I mean, we did learn that maybe, at least these chapters, we can't speak for the others because we don't know where the other pages are. It's a very old book. But we do know that this section has not really changed much, and I think that speaks for the rest of the book.
I mean, it's amazing to imagine that they've been following the same rules for centuries.
Yeah.
And that, you know, it begs the question, like with the Muslims, the Muslim faith and any other faith, should they update their knowledge? Should they update their scriptures to reflect the change in society? You know, it's food for thought for people to decide that. But what is really, really cool is they maybe have more pages, and then we may have a bigger insight on how it was to live in that time.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you hear a lot about Christianity is sort of, well, how can you take this book so seriously? How can you take it so literally? It was rewritten so many different times. We don't know if anything that, any of these accounts are real. So, like, to get back to your point, the fact that, this is the same book, essentially, from 1,000 years before is really interesting in itself, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. And also, it makes me think about how little value has the idea that ISIS is based on that we are going to bring things back to the way it was during Muhammad time. This might prove that it's no different from what it is today, and the whole thing that they're trying to bring back this version of the Quran that was used on the 1600 AD. Yeah. But they don't do anything to support that notion. They do the opposite. They go and destroy any historical proof that they might have something. So I'm happy to see that this might even bring more fundament to the idea that ISIS has it all wrong.
Right, and I think, you and I think everyone else out there would agree that is exactly why we are not quick to equate ISIS or even Islam at all in the same sentence, let alone, comparing the two, because they do not follow anything. They kill fellow Muslims, they kill other people, none of which are, okayed by the Quran. So we want to know what you guys have to say about all of this, the oldest Quran found up till now. Let us know in the comments below, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the Lip TV for more.